Got ourselves Stormluck's gonna be first up as a Fire Mage versus Chilpo's team 2. Is missing a guy, but hopefully Chilpo's will be able to play for the both of them. One main army view. Greater Power Blast up for Stormlux. It's going to be tricky in the last second, but Chilpo's to try to see if it can counteract the damage of a Frost or Fire Mage by locking him down with a Silence. Stormlux may be in a bit of trouble. He does have all the time. He's going to use it, actually. Oh my goodness. I think may have to have a Trinket for that one. I think it was Silence Fully. He was like, you know what? Trinket all the time. I definitely have to make sure I'm extra safe. Big old blade does catch him super low. It's going to Ice Block him with Chilpo's absolutely pressuring the living hell out of Stormlux. As are looking for a full recovery, but can they do it? Blind to follow, just absolutely controlled by the Death Knight, just absolute remorses like the remorse winter that he casts. That's gonna be Chilpo's trying to see if he can get himself a setup versus Storm into a Lich Born to follow, looking for a bit of recovery. Combustion up and running for Storm, but it's gonna be a back-to-back of Bliss. Nothing they can really do to stop it at this point. It's gonna be a bit of a counterwise. Maybe can continue the offensive with the fire damage, actually able to chip away at Chilpo's health quite a bit, but Chilpo's is able to slay him and extinguish the flames before they take him out. As Chilpo's trying to see if he can die away. Frosty playing a Frost while Chilpo's also playing Frost is going to be the shatter of the deadly Unholy Frost versus the deadly Razor Sharp Frost Mage Frost, but it's going to be Frosty under ton of pressure also all the time as he's going to be back-to-back of Blitz. Absolutely just terrifying. Ripping away through the health bar with a Howling Blast, almost taking him out. Forced into an Ice Block. This Death Knight is an absolute menace to all mages around. Keep this man out of Dalaran. My goodness. Breath of Fire onto Chills as it's going to be yet another poly of Frosty finally get himself a bit of a breather away from the menace. Frosty does enable themselves a bit of a Snowdrift, but it's going to be countered by the anti-magic shell. Can't really lock down Chilpo's at all as he's Frost incarnate. Just using the anti-magic shell to bypass it completely. Frosty actually able to almost get a Nova on Chilpo's, but definitely needs to get those slows, needs to get the flurries in order to gain that shattering benefit for a lot of the spells and abilities. But while pressured with the Death Knight right next to your face, with the Silence imminent, you could be in a big trouble. Does go for the second Ice Block. Chilpo's able to crack those defenses fairly easily. He's gonna wait out for the Ice Block to fall off. Has the Silence ready for Frosty too. Gonna be Frosty trying to see if he can slow down freeze Chilpo's, but the anti-magic shell counters it completely with the Strangler to follow. Frosty unable to properly respond. Does get himself a shield last second, but the grip of the Death Knight into that icy embrace of an Obliterate does end up taking him down with the Armageddon, swapping off of that Fury Warrior onto the Demon Hunter, going in for a Glade Throw, trying to see if he can bleed out Chilpo's. Demon Hunters do quite a bit of chaos damage, which is a mix of magic as well as physical. For Chilpo's able to mitigate the magic portion of that damage, so may give him a little bit of a surviving chance here. Definitely waiting out until he can get that Pillar of Frost back up. Looking to maybe get a Remorseless Winter versus Armageddon. Can he potentially build up a little bit of damage? Grippy Hand available. Chilpo's got himself cooldowns rolling very soon. Interrupted Armageddon on the I-Beam, trying to see if he can avoid him whenever he got the Blade Dance available. It looks like he just wants to walk away until the blur is down. Eventually, it's going to be thrown onto Armageddon. Is going to go for a trick, and Chilpo's could go counter-offensive here. Does have AMS at the ready. And it's going to actually go counter-offensive. Armageddon could be in big trouble. Silence to follow. Oh! And the Hunt comes out, but right before he could connect, Chilpo's is there to meet him in the cold, frosty embrace. The Subtlety Menace strikes again, with Chilpo's trying to see if he can avoid Demonic, hit him with a blind immediately, just trying to see if he can deny the Rogue a proper go. It's just going to slow him down for quite a bit. Shadow Step with a Kid shot to follow. IBF immediately as Chilpo's just wants to make sure he's reacting instantly. Big damage out of Demoniac. Doesn't really give Chilpo's much of an opportunity to go anywhere. Shadow Blaze to follow. Does have himself the AMS, does have him to follow. As Demoniac does have Chilpo's on the ropes. Death Pact right after. Chilpo's very limited on what he can do. Stun onto Demoniac. Does have himself a Remorseless Winter. It is going to apply maybe a stun of Demonic. Ends up staying next to Chilpo's for too long. Does go back-to-back eviscerates there. Not much you can really do at that point. Drada's going to be up next as a Fury Warrior. Stormbolt, big damage on Demonic. Has himself evasion at the ready in case he needs to blind her. Drados does go for the trinket. Demonic trying to see if he can bait him with a Kid shot to follow. Is Demonic going to be able to turn it around on the Drados? He's at no help whatsoever. Secret Chicken at the ready. Drados trying to give himself a little bit of recovery. Fear on Demonic. Does have Lichburn for it. Drados does get disarmed. Could potentially catch up. Demonic does go for a big charge. Potentially could have the Rogue down for the count. Zerka Rage with a big X-Skin does end up taking him out. At least he's left the Rogue not completely out of the game. With Diabolics. Oh my god. Diabolics, like a lot of the WoW community, has had a built-up rage, built-up anger against all of Rogue kind. And honestly, it's not like as a Rogue main, I was like, you know what? I think we did. I think Rogues, we did it to ourselves. Gonna be Drados. Ooh, big kill shot as DJ does end up taking him out fairly quickly. Able just to bypass him and is dropping down traps. Trying to see if he can stay over on his side of the pillar. Maybe looking for a bit of recovery as long as he doesn't have any dots on him. Looks like Goku is gonna be the second to last Oro for the team too. Dropping down Amon to maybe hopefully randomly find DJ Flex, but doesn't quite catch him. Gonna be a grip stun on DJ Flex as Goku just trying to see if he can leave the card. It's gonna be mid Turtle Shell as Flex decided, you know what, that's a lot of pets around me. I better play very, very passive. Somehow catches a freezing trap onto Goku, even though the man is surrounded by a billion ghouls as well as a main pet and a gargoyle on the side. Somehow he is able to drop a freezing trap right on his feet without having to freeze a random ghoul. The Flex getting going back out in the open. Goku trying to keep himself alive as best as he can. He's to a scatter shot to follow. Seal trap right after, setting in the main pet, trying to prevent Flex from being able to catch up too much healing. He's actually going to sacrifice the pet exploded to give himself a little bit of healing. Does a bit of damage to Flex. Goku does have some cooldowns coming back up. Some big offensive cooldowns. AMS at the ready. Dark back in case things are rough. So for Flex right now, I think it may be one of those moments where he just needs to buy himself a bit more time. Freezing the main pet, maybe can catch a camo. That is going to be a Death and Decay with a dot right after Flex, unable to really do much. Trick it out of the blind immediately into a proactive stun to Goku. Just wants to make sure he establishes the pressure before Goku really has a chance to respond. Goku with a dark back, AMS to follow. Doesn't really want to walk into the tar trap if he can. Flex, the main pet over there, but what the hell is that pet? What's going on? This is going to be Goku by himself. Kill shot could take him out. What happened to that pet? I saw the chain between Goku and the pet. It looked like the pet was on Flex. Maybe he got steel trap, frozen. He wasn't powered, but he just couldn't really do much. And Pet was doing quite a bit of work. Like Flex was actually feeling the pressure from that pet alone until he got to separate and just work down Goku little by little. Gonna be a stun onto Diabolics as a full coordinate assault is up for Flex. Trying to see if he can make the coordinate assault with those kill shots. The grenades work here versus Diabolics. Big kill shots to follow. Trying to see if he can send out the Eagles. I think he was in the spearhead in order to give himself a little bit more value. Big flank and strike versus Diabolics. Mad damage out of Flex. The Hunter definitely slot the sturdiest class ever, but it's definitely a very, very deadly one. Is gonna be able to get away from Diabolics. Throwing on a couple of grenades. Just needs a couple more hits. Needs those kill shots to land a few crits. That it's gonna be the main pet over there attacking Diabolic, just keeping him under pressure as he's surrounded by the Felguards. It's gonna be Diabolic with no help whatsoever, no more defenses left. Trying to see if he can pour it out of the flex. Just sees a good angle, but his main pet is gonna get trucked down by all of those demons. Diabolics maybe looking for a Mortal Call. Definitely needs one. Needs to send in the pets. Axel Central Flex does have a Mortal Call. Last second, Demon Doggers needs to survive this a little bit longer. Maybe a Mortal Call for the main pet or just drain life. He's could go down just to the main pet alone and the dots. Kill shot is going to be deadly. Oh, Flex doesn't even need it. Swings around the corner, bypassing all those pets, and it just goes in for a quick mongoose bite at the end. Well done for my man Flex, bringing it back for his team, dude. Oh my goodness. Actually, also you gotta give Beastly a little bit of credit there too. Like, even though he didn't win that one, he gave him a proper honor duel. He gave him a fighting chance, and honestly, he was a winner in my book. That was an honorable duel. Definitely would not say anything bad about Beastly whatsoever. Let's get us another one here going, boys. Yeah.